Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello, this is D.K. Singh. In this episode of Politically Correct, I'm going to talk about the rift, or I would say the rumblings in the BJP in many states. We have always discussed about how the BJP has become a kind of a high commandist party with total control over the party organization. Its cadres have ideological commitment. And it's a very disciplined party. That has been the general narrative. But what you are witnessing today is very different. So in state after state, you see a rebellion against the state leadership. Sometimes in the BJP ruled states, it's usually against the state, against the chief minister. In non-BJP ruled states, you have all these, people coming together and kind of this internecine fighting that has been going on. So let's start with this UP, in fact, because today, as we speak, B.L. Santosh, BJP General Secretary Organization, and Vice President in charge of UP, Radha Mohan Singh, they are all in Lucknow talking to different sections of leaders there. It is B.L. Santosh's second visit, actually. Even last month he was there. And we have seen how over the last few weeks, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been under attack from the BJP legislators. You have spoken about it earlier, how BJP MLAs and MPs have been sniping at him, shooting letters to him, pointing out lapses in COVID management. Just the other day, we heard one of the BJP MLAs saying that, okay, I don't want to speak because if I speak out, sedition charges will be leveled against me. So when you see all these central leaders or crisis managers running back and forth from Lucknow to Delhi, Delhi to Lucknow, you know something is drastically wrong in the organization, and that's what they're trying to sort out. But it's not just about UP. Look at Karnataka. Again, the other day, only last week, Karnataka in charge, BJP General Secretary in charge of Karnataka, Arun Singh was in Bangalore. He has spent 3 days talking to different stakeholders. You have seen, like in Karnataka, but it's nothing new in Karnataka. It has been on since Yediyurappa ousted Kumaraswamy government. But since then, we have seen a consistent attempt to oust Yediyurappa. So BJP MLAs have been speaking against him, and we have discussed it pretty often. It's just that it's not stopping. Despite the central leadership's interventions, you see all these snipers coming out openly. So even the latest one was H. Vishwanath, who actually said that Yediyurappa is too old and he does not have the energy to run the government now. So they have been openly demanding a change of guard. Let's go to another state. We've spoken about UP in Uttarakhand. Now the other day, on Saturday, I think, on Saturday, former Chief Minister Tripura Singh Rawat, he spoke out. He said, he has faith in a special investigation team, that SIT, constituted to investigate the alleged fake COVID report. There's this big hangama happening in Uttarakhand now because during the Kumbh Mela, some private agency was actually distributing fake COVID negative certificates. Investigation is on. So, entire thing started with the incumbent chief minister, that is another T.S. Rawat, actually, Tripura Singh Rawat. He kind of trying to take a jibe at his predecessor, that is Tripura Singh Rawat. So Tripura Singh Rawat said that, whatever happened in Kumbh, it was before my time. And I have already ordered an inquiry into it. Basically trying to lay the blame on Tripura Singh Rawat. So Tripura Singh Rawat shot back on Saturday, basically saying that suggesting that he has no faith in the SIT, that is the state police. So it's better that there is a court-monitored inquiry. A CM and his predecessor fighting publicly like this is not very often seen in the BJP. Then let's look at other states, say Gujarat. About 10 days back, you had Bhupendra Yadav, senior BJP leader, General Secretary. He visited Gujarat. He held consultations with many party leaders. In Gujarat, problem is, you have the state president, who is C.R. Patil. He is not getting along well with Vijay Rupani, the chief minister, and there has been a talk of change of guard. There may not be any change of guard actually so close to the elections. But then there is this possibility of a possible cabinet reshuffle to kind of, accommodate the concerns of the dissenters, you can say. So then go to Tripura, you have seen in Tripura, Biplav Dev has been under attack from at least half a dozen MLAs for about 6 months now. BL Santosh again, he had gone to Tripura a few days back to hold consultations with MLAs there, MLAs who are kind of revolting against the leadership, against the chief minister. Then we talk about Goa. We have heard how the health minister of Goa, Vishwajit Rane, about a couple of months back, he had taken a jibe at the, not a jibe at the chief minister directly, but by suggesting that, there were many deaths in a hospital there, Goa Medical College and Hospital. There were many deaths, and the health minister suggested that, it could be because of oxygen shortage, and the High Court should probe into it. He's not saying that we will get probe into it. He said High Court should probe into it. The chief minister had a different account of this entire of the deaths. So the difference between the two were out in the open. Then we heard the power minister of Goa basically going public, saying that infrastructure upgradation projects are not being sanctioned by the CM's department, actually, that is finance. Again, BL Santosh had to go to Goa also. Rumblings are still there. Let's talk about Madhya Pradesh. In Madhya Pradesh, you have CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan's detractors. They have been holding meetings. And curiously, every time they have meetings, they come out and say that, there is not going to be any change of guard in Madhya Pradesh. The more they repeat, I'm sure Shivraj Singh Chauhan must be losing his sleep. Look at Rajasthan, the former Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje. For the last couple of months, he has not been attending parties' meetings. In fact, when you have posters at the BJP headquarters in Jaipur, Vasundhara's face is nowhere to be seen. So her detractors actually, who are in control of the organizer in Rajasthan, they have actually removed her pictures from the posters. She has been running her own independent COVID relief programs all over. The rift between Vasundhara Raje and the rest of the organizer is actually widening by the day. So you go from one state to another. See, not that such infighting was never there in the BJP. It was there in the past also. But the very scale of this infighting, from north to east to north to south to east to west, every state you look at, basically, see, there are 3-4 aspects of this crisis, I would say, that the BJP is facing in the states. See, these things are coming from their, first, I would say, first strand of this is, you have some regional satraps, like say Yediyurappa in Karnataka or Vasundhara Raje in Rajasthan, who are not willing to kind of cede any space. So if the High Command wants to hand over the baton to the next generation leaders, they are not willing to pass it on. And they have their own reasons. They remain the most popular leaders in their state. There is no alternative to Vasundhara Raje. In Rajasthan, if you're talking about a BJP leader with a pan-state mass base. Same goes for Yediyurappa in Karnataka. They are not giving up, and so they are giving it a fight. So this is about regional satraps, like their assertions. Another aspect of this crisis is, how some leaders who have been close to the High Command and who really think that their time has come. So somebody like, say, Narottam Mishra or Kailash Vijayvargiya in Madhya Pradesh. Now, they were always hopeful that they have been very close to the top leadership here in Delhi. And they think that, okay, now Shivraj Singh Chauhan, probably he is not enjoying the best of confidence of the party leadership. So probably their time has come and they should be doing something. C.R. Patil in Gujarat again. He is somebody who is very close to the BJP High Command. So he has kind of opened a front against the CM also. So that's the second aspect of it. If you look at the third category comprises, I would say, political turncoats actually. So who had joined the BJP from other parties, who had quit other parties to join the BJP, hoping for better rewards. And now they find that those rewards are not there. So they have started speaking out. So we have spoken about A.H. Vishwanath, for instance, MLA from Karnataka. Now A.H. Vishwanath was somebody who was in Congress. Then he has switched over to the JDS. And then finally he switched over to the BJP. he had got his reward as expected, and then he has started speaking out. There are many others. If you look at Tripura's crisis, you have Sudeep Roy Burman, a former Congress minister. He was a veteran Congress leader. He switched over to the BJP. He became a minister also, but then he was removed by the chief minister a couple of years back. And since then, he has been sniping at Biplav Dev, and he has been trying to kind of rally other MLAs around him to kind of continue his rebellion against the CM. If you look at other turncoats, talk about, say, Vishwajit Rane, the Goa health minister. He was in the Congress in 2017. He switched over to the BJP. Now you have election time. Well, he has just started speaking out. So this is the third category of dissenters I am saying. First category, as I said, you have regional satraps who are becoming assertive. Second aspect of the crisis we have spoken about people who are close to the party high command and who now think that okay, their time has come and they must snatch it from whosoever be in power right now. And so they have started doing their own stuffs. Third category, I said, political turncoats who joined the BJP hoping for better rewards, and now they are speaking out because they think they haven't got it yet. Then again they have the fourth category. So we are talking about defectors who had come from other parties to the BJP, now actually going for this Ghar Wapsi program or reverse migration, you can call it. This is what you are witnessing in West Bengal. You have many people who had come to the BJP going back to the Trinamool Congress now, or at least showing their willingness to go back to the Trinamool Congress, and they have started speaking against the BJP leadership again. So these are different categories. Now if you put all these four strands together, you see a big crisis looming. Natural question would be, or the moot question would be, why? What has happened? So in the first term of Prime Minister Modi, you did not see these things happening. Everything was under control. It was total discipline. Nobody would speak out. Or once there was a signal from the central leadership, everybody would keep quiet. So what is happening now? Is it because of the electoral reverses in West Bengal after Delhi actually? Is it because post-pandemic they are feeling jittery? I know, probably because you have some regionals, we are talking about MLAs and regional satraps. Probably they think that there was a time when they had to depend on Modi to win elections in the states. And now over a period of time, it's very clear that the Prime Minister he remains the most popular leader in the country. And if you have a Lok Sabha election today, even today, he will easily roam home. But probably he is not effective when it comes to assembly elections. And that is why people in the states, BJP leaders in the states, they really think that okay, now they can do their own stuff. Besides, and because they don't really need Modi, or they don't really need the BJP's much celebrated organizational machinery to ensure their win. They have seen that machinery collapsing in many states, West Bengal being the last one. Before that you had Delhi. They think that okay, this is time for them to actually bargain. Probably another aspect is now that the BJP seems to be power and not ideological commitment or conviction. If that has become the motto, now they also think that okay, they can bargain. They can bargain hard for whatever they think they deserve. And the BJP, which goes out to any extent to actually retain or attain power, and they can always come back. They can remain in the party, and even if they decide to leave or they are removed, they will be needed again. So better bargain hard. Or probably after the pandemic, that could be another reason. After the pandemic, actually, they really think that okay, the central leadership is getting vulnerable, so they can afford to assert. I have no easy answers for all these questions. Why are they doing what they are doing? But the fact is, the BJP is looking very vulnerable in the states today. But I was just, before coming to shoot, I was talking to a BJP leader, and as he said, that you should know, he was telling me that you should know that BJP has always won despite itself. Well, if that is the case, I have nothing to add. That's all from me in this episode of Politically Correct. Thank you for watching.